Let's do one of my favorite segments about spirituality. We're going to keep it not too long today. I just want to do those bite size checking in. And today's topic is everything is energy. Like, what, Stephanie? Oh my goodness, this is so basic. You always talk about that. How is this new? I know. I I've been thinking about this a lot on a different angle. Last time I was in one of my classes. As I always talk here, I am a Kabbalah student. This is pretty much my spirituality. Again, I'm not here to preach Kabbalah at you. I'm not here to quote unquote convert you to Kabbalah. Kabbalah is not, we don't see Kabbalah as a religion anyways, is spirituality. And it's absolutely beautiful how the community has so many people in it. Christians, Muslims, Jewish, atheists, which is interesting, agnostic, but they do believe in the creator. Again, this is not a judgment space. It's all about connecting together with this universal awareness for the light. And again, what I thought was beautiful in that class, which is pretty much it was a class about where we're learning about energy and how, well, this is what the class is. It's called TLE, 10 Luminous Emanation, which is pretty much understanding how energy, the whole concept of God works in this world, because it's not it's not quite like what a lot of us learned in, let's say, if you grew up as a Catholic or anything. It could be more systematic than that. It's not this big old man in the sky that is just, lifting his fingers left and right. It's actually energy, and there is a system, and there's a a system to everything. And the topic, we were talking about energies, everything, which is something that we mention a lot. We talk about a lot in Kabbalah. And I like the example that my teacher gave. It was Benjamin Malul. He also has a YouTube channel. If you want to start diving into Kabbalah yourself and studying really from the source, you could go on his YouTube channel also, where he does amazing YouTube videos. I warned you, the concepts are deep, okay? But it's I think it's really, it's just wow. And then he mentioned he wanted us to really understand energy is everything, not from a theoretical view aspect, but from a real grounded real life. Because when we talk about spirituality, a lot of times it can be like, it sound like a lot of fluffy concepts that are floating in the air, and then you turn around, you scratch your head, you're like, what exactly does that mean? So I really like the example that he gave. He said, all right, when we're talking about everything is energy, what we need to think about, let me give you that was him, my teacher. Let me give you an example. Let's say you walk into a restaurant, and that day the chef is mad. For whatever reason, the chef is having a really bad day. But then you don't know that. Or maybe you feel something, but you ignore it. And then you sit down and you eat the chef's food. Well, we need to understand, by energy is everything. You eat the chef's food. The chef was mad when he was preparing it. But then the next day you wake up totally mad and you have no idea why. That was my teacher's example. And I was just, wow. Like I'm always also talking about energies, everything. I've always been connected to energy since I was a kid, even when I didn't have the words to explain anything. But I think this example is a great illustration to show us in real deep concept what exactly it means or how it can impact our life. So when we say energy is everything, technically, to keep it very simplistic, is you need to start going through life seeing yourself as a network of electrical point, electrical current, electrical circuits. And when you are stepping outside of your house in the morning, you are constantly interacting and exchanging those particles of energies with other people. And I know it sounds woo woo, but it's not that woo woo, because this is pretty much what science is even talking about today. When you're talking about, when they're talking about the electrons and the atoms and all these things, it's an exchange of energy. And you could see how everything, the matters, everything is just flowing everywhere. It's constantly interacting. It's not just nothing is happening. We can see it, so that's why we can't fully grasp it. But there's a reason why energy is actually impacting you more than you realize. You step into, it's night outside, you're walking, you step into an alleyway and you get that weird feeling. You decide to turn around and not go through that street anymore. What is this? Did anyone tell you anything? Did you see any sign? You felt something in your, you had that gut feeling. It's all energy. You meet someone, you get a bad vibe. Again, what is it? It's an energy field. We have to understand that you have your aura, your energetic field, the same way that the planet has its magnetic field. You have your own similar field, and everyone has one. Every other, even object, has their own. So, and then we're constantly bumping into another, exchanging energy. And then some of us get really intimate. You go on a date, you start dating someone, you kissing, and then you pretty much exchanging energy. And they become a little part of you, you become a little part of them, because you've exchanged energy. You have sex with someone, this is exactly what is happening on a greater scale. You are fusing with that person. And even after the act ends, you still end up carrying a part of them. So I just want us to start going through life. Well, I wasn't planning to give that that example, but I'm throwing a bunch of random example in different aspects of life. We started by that chef in the food. We started by, just relational example, random example, because I want you to understand how everything is energy all day long, 24/7. So what's the point of this episode? It's just for us to just be aware of that and let it sit in your mind, and planting a seed, perhaps. It didn't have, like, again, I'm not coming here to preach at anyone. It's just sharing ideas and consciousness. Once we start understanding how everything is energy, we start moving in life differently. Again, I'm not shaming anyone or anything, but for example, recently I went on a date, and right away, well, it wasn't really a date per se. It was just like impromptu an impromptu lunch session with someone, that it was very impromptu. And it's crazy. Right in the lunch session, the person that, originally was coming up, like, okay, but then right away, right after, the person slowly started to push and try to break boundaries. And again, this is the beauty of doing inner work and doing and being self-aware, because you just don't tolerate old things that you used to tolerate before. And once you're doing the type of energy study, being aware of things, astrology, you start moving differently in life. For example, I'm very allergic to people rushing energy, because what is rushing? Rushing is literally someone trying to speed things up and lock you up before giving you enough necessary time for you to truly assess their character. That's how I see it. Because let's say you're dating someone. This is the idea behind slowing down and pacing. This wasn't supposed to turn into a dating episode, but I just want to say this real quick. This, let's say, this is the point of pacing. This is why our grandparents, our grandmothers would tell us, slow down, and then to just like slow down with the whole like physical interaction again, because once you throw physical interaction in the mix, it blurs everything really fast. And also, I move differently in the world now. When I'm thinking about everything is energy and we're exchanging energy, and even in Kabbalah, we learn that when you get intimate with someone, it becomes a sort of soul contract. And then you carry that person's energy for some time. And there's something like, let's say you have sex with someone, it could be for like 7 years. You carrying, of course, there's other things you can, other cleansing things you could do to get yourself to get rid of that person's energy, and to kind of like break the soul contract that is slowly establishing. But still, once you understand that everything is energy like that, you stop moving so casually in life, and you start being a bit more intentional. Now, let's say I was to go on a date and someone is pushing for physicality, again, I'm not telling people how to live their life, but the first thing I'm thinking about, this is not morality again. I talked about it extensively in that other episode I had about the two most powerful energies in the world, the power of your words and sexual energy. So you could go check that out. But real quick, now that I know that I'm carrying someone's energy like that for so many years, and let's say I was dating, you think I'm in a rush to like, am I in a rush when someone is looking to like sleep with you right away, or get all physical right away on the first date, or so and so? You start analyzing things deeply. The first thing that goes in my mind is, do I know you? Do I want to start carrying your baggage and start locking my soul and be in the soul contract with you for the next 7 years? I don't even know you. So this escalated a little bit. We weren't planning to talk about that, but I just wanted to go move around a little bit to show you how everything is energy, and we need to be more mindful about moving in the world, how we show up, how we're interacting, people we let into our field, because we become the sum of who the people we hang out with, right? Especially here, I'm noticing it. I'm temporarily in Batumi, Georgia right now, and it's a very Aries type of energy, but unaware Aries. I pulled out their mundane astrology chart, and it's pretty much Aries sun. But then again, unaware Aries. So you have the shadow side of Aries. There's a lot of aggressivity for the sake of aggressivity. There's a lot of, oh my goodness. And I can feel myself slowly becoming more aggressive. Either it being for survival because I'm in that environment, but this was a great example to show us how we become the product of our environment, right? Because I have to interact with aggressive people all day. I try my best to like minimize it as much as possible, but I'm on edge. I have my wall high up. I have my ready to fire back. So that could be a topic for another day, but it just shows you how your environment impacts you, and how we're all impacting and seeping into one another. So you need to be aware of that so you can make the right decisions for yourself. On that note, my love, I know we talked about a lot of stuff today. And as usual, if there is something that you're going through in your life and you need some additional support, I do have my link for big bookings down below, where I do astrology readings and transit readings and all that good stuff. But I don't just do that. We also have consultation that we could do about whatever you're going through, whatever you're going with life in life, and then you need help with. And I always use spirituality and also pulling out your astrological chart, even if I'm not doing an astrological reading, but to help guide you and to help personalize the session as much as possible to you. On that note, my love, all the bookings are down below. I will see you in the next one, and keep shining bright like a diamond.